Did you guys hear that? A bird, a really pretty sounding bird outside my window. Anyway, hi everybody, it's Angie. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. And if you didn't hear that, that was probably a really silly opening, but oh well. I have my windows open because I really love the sound of the birds out here. There are so many amazing birds and plants, and oh my goodness, I love it here. I love it, and I haven't even been here a year yet. Okay, welcome. This is my channel about cross stitch, where I talk mainly about cross stitch and sometimes a couple other things pop in. So I have a few things to update you on. I have a ton of stitching that I did, but most of it is just on one project. So there's a little bit of progress on a couple other things. I have a little bit of haul. I have some more set plans for the rest of the month of May. And I think that's about it. So I guess we'll get into it. First though, I don't know if any of you ever are scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and you find an ad and it just makes you go, ooh, and then you just have to buy whatever the ad is selling. Well, once upon a time, like many moons ago, I was a cosmetologist. So I did hair, I did nails. I actually specialized in pedicures. I really enjoyed making people's feet look really nice. I was not very big on the whole nail art thing, but anyway. And so I've recently been watching a lot of YouTube videos about nails, thinking maybe, you know, when my husband retires, if I want to jump back in the workforce. I'm trained, I'm licensed to do nails, but it's been forever because I developed an allergy to the product. But if you wear gloves, you can avoid an issue. And there's so many new products, and they're now selling nail polish, gel nail polish. This, I don't know how new this is, but when I went through school, they didn't have that. You could do gel nails and cure them with the UV light, but you couldn't do the nail polish, but now they have the nail polish. So I ordered a kit with just some nail polish for me and my girls. And then all of a sudden this ad kept popping up. And I've heard of Color Street, you know, where you put the nail sticker on, and I've tried some, and I don't like them. But this it's called Vanity Table or Ohora, depending on which one it's the same thing. It's just the nail stickers are called Ohora from Vanity Table. It's a Korean company, and they sell pre-cured, but they're not all the way cured. So they're like half cured gel nail stickers. So it's like nail polish in the shape of your fingernail, partially cured. You put them on your finger like stickers, and then you cure them with the lamp, and it's supposed to last. And so I said, you know what the heck, I'm gonna try it. So I ordered some for my toes, which, by the way, if you're gonna do stickers on your toes, get some help, because, well, I mean, I guess if you're like really thin and flexible, it's not a big deal, but for me, it was really difficult to do my toes, and that's why I'm not gonna show them to you. But I ordered some for my toes and some for my fingers, and I put them on today, and these are them. And they were surprisingly easy. And one of the things that I really liked about these is you could stretch them. I had to stretch because, I'm sorry, I have big fat nails. My nails are not the pretty little normal nails that lots of women have. They are fat fingernails. If my nails grow out long, they grow wide. They don't grow beautifully long. My daughters have beautiful nails. I don't. I have man hands, I think. And so like for this one right here, I had to stretch it to fit on my nail, and you can't even tell that it was stretched. The design stayed fine, but so you can stretch it a little bit and then stick it on, and then you rub it down and cure it. And then if you want, you can put a gel top coat on and cure it again, which I did. It's not required, but I mean, so far so good. They feel nice and smooth, and I like them. They're really pretty. There's enough in the kit that I could probably do another full set on my hands if I'm doing some stretching or some trimming. So just an FYI, it took probably about 2 weeks to get here because they were shipped from Korea. So, I mean, if you're going to order them, I would order a good amount so that you don't have to buy them again. But I'll let you know how long they last, because it was just exciting. And I was on Virtual Stitchers, and I was talking about these, and a few of the ladies asked me about them. So now I have to get back on Virtual Stitchers and remind them about these and say, so far so good. I don't know how long they'll last. I don't think my toe ones will last very long because I don't think I got them on there very well. The finger one's pretty good. Okay, so I think we're gonna start with, what did I get? And I'm gonna make a lot of noise. So first, I am in the process of kitting up Raven Queen. And so I had to buy a couple skeins of DMC for it. So I picked those up, just a few of the colors that I didn't have. That's nothing important, or I mean nothing major. But Raven Queen has some specialty stuff, and I've never tried these, and since there were only 3, I went ahead and ordered them. I was gonna go to my local shop to get these, but there's still actually more. I need to get a whole bunch of Mill Hill beads, and I am gonna go to my needle workshop for that. But I was already making an order from 123 Stitch for something else, and so I just tacked these on. So I got some of my very first set of silks. I've never used silk threads, but because it's a Mirabilia and there were only 3, I opted to go ahead and purchase the silks. So these are Caron, what are they? Caron Water Lilies. So this one is Midnight. I don't have a thing because I'm not awesome like that, but it looks gray. I wish I had a paper. Let's see. You know what? I do sort of have a paper. I just don't want you to see the pattern on the other side of it. This is how yeah, it still looks gray. This is actually like a dusty purple. So I apologize, the lighting in here is terrible apparently, because that does not look purple at all. So anyway, but this is 072 Midnight. And then I've got, this kind of is a bluish green color. This is called Monsoon. It's 197. This actually looks a lot brighter on film than it is. It's a little bit more muted than that, if you'll believe me. And then this one is called Periwinkle, and it's 162. And this one is kind of a light purpley blue. I mean, you can kind of see that it looks gray blue. The grays are the purple. What looks gray on here is purple. So you can't really tell. And then it also asked for Rainbow Gallery Whisper. I had no idea what it was. I figured it was like a treasure braid of sorts. Yeah, no, it's super fuzzy black thread. I have no idea how to use this, so I'm gonna have to do as I always do, is just find somebody who's used something like this, see how it's used or what the effect is supposed to be, and then I can share it with you guys, unless you already know. And if you already know, then you are one step ahead of me. So I'm excited. Obviously, I believe this is probably more for finishing than actual stitching, because I imagine this would fray something terrible. So anyway, there's that, and those go with my threads, and then all I have to do is go pick up, they call for 3 colors of Krynic, and so I'm going to go in and I'm going to find those colors of Krynic, and then I'm going to see if I can match them up to either a Petite Treasure braid or one of the other, similar to the one that I use for Dark Queen. I think it was called Entice. It's Rainbow Gallery. It's by the same people who make Treasure Braid. It's just a slightly thicker. And I'm going to see if I can match them up and get it as close to the right color, because I prefer the Treasure Braid, or I prefer that over the Krynic. So, and if not, I'll get Krynic, because, you know, at the end of the day, I want it to look good. And then I got I was watching 2 Martini Stitchers stash dive videos, and if you haven't seen it, at the start of this month she decided she was going to go through her tote and a few bins, and I believe these were all kitted projects, kitted whips that she had set up for Mania, or ones that she had started in Mania or just had pre-kitted, and she was going through them all to find out if there were any in there that she really wanted to start this May. It's broken up into 4 parts. Each part is about 15 minutes long, and she goes through and she just shows you. And she showed this series. It's by Hands On Design. It is the I don't know what the series is called specifically, but it's for the laundry room. And I saw it, and she had one that was completely done, stitched, and it should fit, if you do everything called for, it should fit in a 5x7, so they're small. So we have this one. It's called The Never Ending Cycle. And these were roughly $8 a piece. This one is called Irony. I love this one. Irony is the opposite of wrinkly. I think that's what it says. Yeah, wrinkly. And then there's this one, Loads of Fun. I'm making noise with my feet on my chair. And I thought, how fun would these be to stitch up and put in my laundry room, because I have never had a laundry room that I have decorated, because it's always either attached to the garage and filled with storage, or just like our laundry room here is tiny. It's in the basement. You can't really use it for storage, so I kind of want to dress it up and see if I can make it look a little bit nicer. So I went ahead and I just went on to 1, 2, 3 stitch, and you click on the pattern, and then they have that little gray box that you can just say include all, which orders everything for you. So I've got 2 Belfast linen, 13x18, 32 count, and then one of them fits on a 9x13. So I got the fabric, I got the threads. So I think these will be something that I will just start working on, kind of like all my other little things that I just sort of start working on. And this might be a summer project, or it might be one of those things that now that the world is kind of getting back to normal, or pre-COVID-ish, things are opening, activities are happening again, take it with me places as I'm with the kids running errands or whatever. And that's it as far as acquisitions. I do have something else coming I'm excited about, but I don't know when it's going to get here. It has not shipped yet, so I'm not going to say anything about it until it gets here. Next up, I'm going to talk plans, because stitchy stuff in a minute. So right after I filmed, I went and picked up my son from the bus stop, and we got home, and I was just about to get ready to start dinner, and the power went out. And we were notified by the power company that a tree, we've had these weird little thunderstorms that kind of just shoot past our house, and last weekend the power went out for like 3 hours, and so we ended up having to rush out and get dinner because it was right at dinner time, but it came back on and everything's fine. Well, these little storms that have been like flashing through, serious wind, all of a sudden it's a perfectly calm day, and then we have this massive like micro burst of wind that just, oof. Anyway, a tree fell on the power lines, and so they were sending out a notification it was probably going to be like 11 p.m. before the power came back on. And so we went and got dinner again, because obviously I'm not going to cook, and I decided that since I couldn't really stitch, even though I had plenty of daylight, I didn't want to sit outside, and I couldn't really see because I was working on Stargazer, the fabric's dark. So I decided to actually make sure everything was kitted and ready for Mirabilia's. So I went ahead and made sure I have it all, and I think I'm missing one color because 1, 2, 3 Stitch doesn't have it. And I keep opening the wrong bags. Sorry. So just a reminder, I've got this one, Roses of Provence, which is beautiful. I've got the fabric, which I'm toying with dyeing, but at the same time, I might just leave it. It is a pretty fabric as it is. It's the called for. And I went ahead and I got all of the threads put together on here. So these are all ready to go. Start stitching. I've got the bead packs in here, and I've got a few extra skeins of thread, floss, whatever you want to call it, in here. So this is kitted. This is ready to start, unless I change my mind and actually dye the fabric. I still haven't decided. I don't know. What do you guys think? If I do dye it, it would be kind of a very light pastel rainbowy splotchy color all over it, because I think that would look pretty. And then I went ahead and started kitting up Raven Queen, and I have the fabric for that. And my daughter and I kept going over it, and we decided we're gonna stitch it on this, and we're gonna do it with the dark side up, so it adds to her evil effect. And this is Hades Realm from Under the Sea fabric, and it is a 28 count fabric, so it's gonna be big, but it's also, this is nice. And I started kitting up, but then I ran out of, I didn't have the floss, so I've got to finish kitting this one up. And then I have my list for what I still need to get for it. I will for sure start Raven Queen this month. So my trip to the L&S shop will be probably at the end of this week, beginning of next week. All right, what have I worked on? Well, I did about 950 stitches on Northern Night so that I could complete homework. And I am just about halfway done. Well, not quite. So right here is the line for half the pattern. Technically, there's two more it still goes down another 2 squares, you know, 20 stitches farther down. I am not positive that I'm actually going to continue down. I like where this is at. The only consideration is on the other shore of the lake is a moose. Excuse me. And I don't want to cut the moose's feet off. So I have to go through the pattern and see where the moose's feet end up. And if it's above this line, then I am not going to continue down here. Plus, I mean, it's going to go clear down to here. And this is the fabric it came with. And I did the whole fold it in half and everything. And so it doesn't leave a very big margin at the bottom for framing. So I'm feeling like I don't love this pattern so much that I want the whole thing. And of course, I started this before I knew that you could cut your patterns off where you don't want to stitch. That thought never occurred to me before. So here we are, Northern Night. I'm almost halfway done. It is a beautiful pattern. It really is. But I've found so many more things that I love. And I just dropped my needle minder that take precedence over it. So this only really gets any attention if I have to do a homework prompt. You know what, the pattern is right here. Here's the moose, and guess what, guys? I can totally cut the bottom off. The moose's feet won't get disturbed. So, there's the answer to that question. I am not doing those bottom, the extras. I'm just going to cut that off there. So, there's that. And then I did pull out my Bigfoot Bigfoot bundle. And unfortunately, well, you can see it. Isn't he cute? It looks like I just added this, which kind of, yes, but here's what happened. So Bigfoot's bum, I went backwards. So instead of his bum coming out, I had it stitched. So it was going on the inside. And so when I got around here and I was filling things in, the count was off. And I thought to myself, well, I could fudge it and I could just pretend. But you guys, this pattern is small. It's relatively small compared to what I stitch. And I just cannot let Bigfoot have a flat bottom. A concave bottom. That's what it was. Like, it was concave. So I ripped out all of this up to his arms were fine. So I ripped all of this up to here out and I redid all of this. And so, yeah. So there's that. I think this was already still there. I decided I was going to go in and outline all the leaves, because when I get down here to the bottom, it's like hundreds and hundreds of stitches in just the color of the leaves. So I wanted to make sure I had enough to outline the leaves, and then if I had to, I could change the color to something else. And I'm not doing the faces yet because there's a lot of fractionals and stuff in there, and so there's a close-up of the pattern in the pattern, or a close-up of the faces in the pattern, and so I'm going to wait to the end and do the faces. So there's Bigfoot bundle. He got like 500 stitches after I ripped everything out and redid it. So I mean, it's a good chunk. Okay, sorry, that was the attendance line calling because apparently my daughter didn't sign in for a class, even though she's sitting on the couch and I saw her in every class. Just a quick rant. That is one of the things that I really am frustrated about, because I keep getting these notifications about kids not signing in at the right time, and I have one student in his specialty program that gets marked absent if he is not working on a specific assignment online at a specific time of the day. And the program, he logs in first thing in the morning, he talks to all of his teachers, they say, okay, do this, this, and this. Well, if he gets this done and he wants to do this and he does it ahead of time, then he can get marked absent for not doing it at the specific time. And so he's got so many absences racked up that I actually got a letter in the mail from the state saying, you know, we're really concerned and there's an issue. And I've had to call his teachers and be like, they say, yeah, we know he's actually doing his work and he's in class, we can see. I'm so glad he's going he's now going 4 days a week, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. All right, so you all remember where I was at with Stargazer. And, you know, I was going to be all sneaky and coy, but no. Take a look at her now. She's done. Minus, there's like a couple big star type things up here that have a couple of the thread floss stitches, but most of it is all beading. And that's pretty much what I have left is beading. You guys, she's gorgeous. She is gorgeous. The dress is gorgeous. It's perfect on this fabric. I'm so glad I chose this fabric. It was between this one and the one that I'm stitching Garden Prelude on, and she just looks so much better on this one. I love the contrast of the dark, and the movement of the dress down here is just beautiful. And if you've never seen this pattern, all those little spots in there, those little dark spots, those are all the swirls. That's all where beading is going. So there's a lot of beading in this. I've never beaded. I put like 9 beads on one. I've never done a project of this size. So I'm putting it away for the rest of the week so I can work on Dark Queen, because Dark Queen has about 5,000 new stitches that need to go into it for this month. So I'm putting this away for the rest of this week. Next week, I will probably be pulling out Garden Prelude. I am still I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the differences in the color and how it helps make, you can just see the movement. I don't see that in Garden Prelude, and I think it's because I made the differences in the colors too subtle, and I'm contemplating refiguring my colors and seeing if I can't. I don't want to restart the whole thing, but I kind of feel like I need to redo some of it. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. You've seen Garden Prelude. Do you think that the difference... I'll post a picture here. I don't know if you can just... I don't know. I don't want to redo it all, but at the same time, I want it to look magnificent like this. It is for my daughter, so I want it to be just as pretty. This one's for me, and this is... It's just stunning, you guys. So, yeah. This probably got close to 8,000 stitches this week. It hit, maybe not 8,000, but it's up there. It's really high in the numbers. You'll hear how high in the numbers. And then of course, technically I count the beading as stitching too. So I do want to start beading this month. I just don't know when, because next week will be Garden Prelude. The following week, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be starting Raven Queen. And I might kind of just work this in between. Maybe if I'm upstairs doing a movie or something with my husband, I'll do some beading while I'm doing that. But the stitching is done. The main stitching, minus maybe 30 stitches out in space. And that's all that I've worked on. Well, okay, no, that's a lie. I started working on Dark Queen today, but I'm going to show you that later. I've toyed with the idea of doing a small little update each day, showing you my progress on each pattern. But I just don't know if I have time for that. I mean, I totally have time for that. I just don't know if I have the oomph to do that. I know some people do that, you know, during the week. They do a little snippet. Here's the progress for today. Here's the progress for today. And maybe I will. Maybe the next video you see, there will be a few little snippets. Here's what I did today. Here's what I did today. So, I don't know. We'll see. But that's it for stitchy stuff. That's what I got done. And I don't think there's anything else. If I'm really lucky, I have a child who will hopefully be graduating in the next 2 weeks. Cross your fingers for me, guys. It has been quite the effort to get this kid to graduate. You guys know I sit on the couch and I watch everything he does. Stitch, watch, stitch, watch. I'm doing that for the whole year up until last week when they finally said he could come in 4 days a week, and now they're watching everything he does. But he only goes to school for half a day. So then he comes back home and I make him do more, because if he doesn't, he can't graduate. Stitch, watch, stitch, watch. It's been an exhausting year. Even though I'm just sitting on the couch, it's tiring. So cross your fingers, send some good mojo that all of this work will result in a diploma for him, which will make his life so much easier in the long run. Other than that, there is nothing else I've got going on. Just enjoying the lovely, lovely Virginia weather. Cool in the morning, warm in the afternoon, cool at night. Beautiful, you guys. I am just, this place is magnificent. I'm even talking to my husband about, not here, right here, real estate is ridiculous. We're too close to Washington, D.C. for this area to make good sense financially in the long run. But we're looking at the idea of checking out down south, Southern Virginia maybe, for potential retirement. It's gorgeous here. I've been to many beautiful places. I've lived all over the world. I've seen so many things. But as I sat out on my deck and just looked at all of these beautiful flowers in this yard that doesn't belong to me, but I get to enjoy for a while, and I get to watch the cardinals. Never seen a real cardinal before. and we have a Cooper's hawk that likes to land in our trees, and there's just birds of all colors, and there's squirrels, and there's hummingbirds, and there's foxes. We had a fox run through our yard. Apparently there's bears too. I'm not a stranger to bears. Bears were in Alaska everywhere, but I don't want a bear in my yard. A raccoon. I put a video of a picture of the raccoon that we had. It was probably not a healthy raccoon because it was out in the middle of the day. But anyway, we have all of these gorgeous creatures on this beautiful oh, you guys, I love it here. I've fallen in love with this neighborhood, so far with the state, so unless anything really major happens, I don't know, maybe this could be our forever home. You'd think that we would have an idea of where to retire. We have no clue. I thought that when my husband joined the Air Force, that we would travel all around the United States and we would figure out where we were going to go, because we knew we didn't want to retire in Utah, which is where we both grew up. We just, it doesn't hold anything for us. We don't want to go back. But no, Alaska, Japan, Germany, like 2 years in California, Texas, Alaska again, and then here. And we don't want to retire in Texas either. So my dream of moving all over the United States so I could decide where we'd live has not happened. Alaska is one of the top runners, though. We keep thinking that we should just retire there, because then of course if you know, everything falls apart down here, at least we're clear up there away from it all. But if you have never been to Alaska, the cost of living is really high there. It's expensive. It's hard to get things there. A lot of companies won't ship to you there because there's really where we were at least, we were up in the interior, so we were near Fairbanks. And really the only way to get something there is it would fly in to Anchorage, and then they would have to drive it up this really dangerous to drive road in the middle of the winter, because that's the only way to get there. Occasionally you could get stuff flown in, but big ticket items, yeah. So you have to, you know, like I remember trying to order from Wayfair, and Wayfair said, no way, we're not shipping to Alaska. You can get most things, but there are some things you just can't get, and it's just expensive. I digress. See, there we go. That's me talking about stuff that's not cross-stitch, so I apologize. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off so I can go down and work on some Dark Queen. I promised my daughter I'd paint her nails with some gels. Not these, but we have some gel nail polish that I was gonna do. And watch some Bones, because I like that show. So thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.